Okay, while they're doing this video, let's have a quick conversation with my guests. I'd like to bring in my guests who are on Skype right now with me. They're not in the studio. That's Ashley McMahon and Dr. John Kemp. Doctor, let me start with you first. When you have a police officer who has shot anybody, as a matter of fact, when you've had anybody who's shot anybody, do they go into shock generally from your experience?
The first time offense, or first time that you do that, there's no telling what's going to happen with you.
Let me just, can I interrupt you 1 second? Can I ask you?
Yes.
She had a previous shooting where she shot somebody who had overtaken her. All right. Would that make a difference?
I would expect that it would. Once you've been through that process, you kind of have a pattern established, but we also don't know how well she handled that situation. She could have fallen apart even worse than what she did this time. So
well, that's interesting.
That would be interesting. Good to know.
Yeah. Ashley McMahon, have you ever had a client that's accidentally shot someone?
Yes, I have. And, you know, it's a terrible situation for everyone involved, obviously. But what I really want to know is if she's had this prior issue where she has shot somebody in the line of duty, you know, how was that handled? Was she given appropriate, you know, psychological and, you know, therapy afterwards? Because obviously, even though this is her job, it does affect us all as human beings, you know, and that's why I'm worried that the jury is going to hold her to a higher standard than maybe they should in this case. Well, let's listen to what Detective Richardson is going to say, because we just saw the video of how the keys responded. Her keys did not open both of John's door. Okay, so I'd like to discuss with my guest the fact that this witness for the prosecution and now for the defense is going through what police officers do. And Dr. John Huber, police officers or anybody, if they're if they're tired, they don't get enough sleep, are they subject to shooting somebody and killing them, thinking that something else is their own apartment?
Well, they're definitely subject to making visual spatial mistakes, errors in recognizing certain things and taking longer to actually process information than they normally would. So it is a possibility. I'm not going to say it's not. I mean, there's too much science behind it to say that it is possible. Did this happen in this case? I think they have a lot to prove.
All right. And Ashley McMahon, who is in Georgia, I indicated to you that some of the experts that the defense is calling is a visual perception expert, someone from Harvard, from Brigham and Women's Hospital, a sleep expert, use of force expert, a gun expert. I mean, if you are the representing her, how do you get around, though, with these experts, the fact that, let's say, she was just texting the whole time, it looks like, about sex with her former partner while she's walking into her apartment? Or his apartment.
That's a really difficult thing to get around, and I think it's, you know, something humanizing that the jury is going to latch on to. But I think, you know, with this type of case, obviously the defense doesn't have to put up any witnesses or any testimony, but you kind of got to hammer home a bunch of stuff and maybe make the jury think about that, so that they're not only focused on her talking about losing her job, getting special treatment from the police, the sexting with, you know, her partner, via Snapchat. You know, I think that's what you have to do. You have to throw the whole kitchen sink at it and hope that something sticks.
And Janine Obtanian, you've been with me here. Defense said she is going to testify. Now, when she testifies, that video that was excluded today about the specialized treatment, does that now come in?
That now comes in because, again, if she's going to testify and she's going to put up this affirmative defense that he was lunging towards her, she didn't say that on the 911 call, and we want to know, did someone tell her to say that?
And in fact, one of the things I noticed, Janine, is that in that video that we just saw that was running, that the apartment, I mean, she had to take a lot of steps to get to him. Botham John, ladies and gentlemen, was pretty far away from the door, and her key didn't work, it didn't open. There were a lot of signs, and she's going to be aware as a police officer, the defense has a big road to overcome here if they're going to prove an affirmative defense that she really was justified in shooting him. Anyhow, that's things that we're going to hear a lot of in the next 2 weeks. I'm Linda Kenney Baden. As you know, Angelica Spanos will be in this anchor seat after me. She will continue our coverage dealing with Texas versus Amber Guyger. It is a case you simply do not want to miss. It has everything. It has real life, and it has, unfortunately, the death of Botham John.